Daredevil. Hey, welcome everybody. It is Monday night. Welcome to MCU Mondays right here on Geek News Now. We're so glad you joined us tonight. So happy you're here. We are going to be talking about Echo tonight and enjoying every minute of it. Hang on a minute. I got to check because we had this issue last time where we were supposed to go live and we didn't. And I want to make sure we're there. Just because
YouTube.
we're on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube popped up for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, YouTube's all that matters. That's the one. That's all that matters.
And Facebook is now
Facebook is now broadcasting. Welcome. We are here to talk about Echo, episode 2. I am your host, David. Welcome to the show tonight. With me tonight is just Andrew. Scarif Scuttlebutt is online and watching.
Hey,
How are you? Echo. With me tonight is Andrew. How are you tonight, Andrew?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk about Echo since I wasn't, able to last week. So I'm looking forward to sharing my thoughts.
It was yeah. Andrew did miss first episode. He was having internet troubles. Now you may notice that Debbie is missing tonight. She is taking a well-deserved night off. We're so happy for her. Well earned. But she'll be back next week. So, before we roll into Echo, I think maybe we ought to show our do our little intro. So let's do the intro and we'll get into Echo. Awesome. So, Andrew,
Love
have
that
you?
intro.
Yeah, it was a good one. So, have you watched the entire run of this, or are you just going episode by episode right now?
I've seen all of it.
Okay.
I watched it all in like 2 or 3 nights, something like that. Yeah.
Did you? Let me ask you. Did you enjoy it?
Overall, yeah. I'd say it was a good fine show. There are some nitpicks I had with it, I would say, but it's not anything like, oh, I hate this, nothing like that.
It's ruined.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Marvel is dead. Wasn't anything quite to that level.
There are people that would disagree with you on that one, but sure, why not?
Yeah, it has its lows. I'll say that.
It does have its lows.
Yeah.
Phase 4 is a low.
Yeah.
But so what were your thoughts on episode 1 then, since you weren't here last week and you couldn't jump in with us? So episode 1, what are your thoughts?
Probably my favorite episode out of all 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, overall, because one thing I thought they did really great. Well, actually, first when I clicked on the episode and that opening scene played, like what Debbie said last week, I was like, am I watching the right thing? Is this Echo? Like, what's going on here? And then, you find out that's the origin of the Chalk Dawn. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And one of the things I thought they did really great with this episode was making sure you knew who Maya was if you had no prior knowledge of the character. I thought they did that pretty well. Because there were some things I had forgotten from Hawkeye on her, and I was like, okay, this is a good recap. I thought that, it was cool seeing Daredevil for like the 5 minutes that we got him. One of the nitpicks I had was fight scenes. They seemed kind of like Like that was all
You
right.
were wrong, by the way, but okay.
I'm wrong. Yeah,
You
I
were wrong. You
I
said that
was wrong.
there was a, and I think you had said this in a couple of weeks ago
Yeah.
about there was a kick that it was like
Right. Yeah. Was it? Yeah.
there is an echo in here.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. General Kenobi.
General
So,
Kenobi.
but you had said something about there was a kick and it was like really slow and it managed to hit him anyway. And it was like, come on, you're
Yeah.
Daredevil. How did you miss that? But if you watch the episode, the kick was intentional. She pulled the kick. She went ahead and started
Yeah.
with it and then stopped so that he would look up. And when he looked up, she finished it off. So
Yeah.
the idea was not necessarily, oh well, that was just poor choreography, or that
Yeah.
was just a person trying to be slow on the kick and it looks staged kind of thing. That was more of a, I'm going to trick you so that I can't hit you. So
Yeah. Well, and that was something I had with like the marketing because going into this, the weeks leading up to it, I thought this was going to be action packed, and all that action we see in the trailer and the commercials was in this scene, and then in episode 4.
yeah,
So there was a lot of slowness, and
it's
I was like,
not slowness;
okay,
it's character development.
development, right? Yeah,
No, and honestly,
and
I think
yeah,
that may be why I enjoyed this so much because I
yeah,
honestly, other than watching Hawkeye, no idea who the character is. I have no
right,
clue.
yeah, yeah,
And much like the Guardians of the Galaxy, had no idea.
mm-hmm.
I was introduced to them. Um, oh, you're missing out.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
really enjoyable. But I had no clue who the Guardians were, and after watching the movie, I'm not really. I mean, I'm curious, a little curious about some of the lore around the Guardians, but the
yeah,
MCU Guardians are the ones that I like. That's
mm-hmm.
basically what I quote unquote grew up with. So that's what I like. And Echo's the same way. Echo, I have no clue who she is. No, I didn't even know she existed as far as a Marvel character goes.
Exactly, yeah, same here.
And then I was like, okay, so now this is kind of giving us the intro, the origin story, if you will, to this character. And instead of just, oh well, my mom and dad died, now I'm going to avenge their deaths by dressing
Mm-hmm.
up as a bat and running around the streets of Gotham. It's more of a, how did we get it's kind of like Batman Begins. It's like how did
Yeah,
he become Batman? How did he, how did this person, it's a
mm-hmm.
good, very good origin story, but it's not like it's a, oh, we're gonna do a couple of montages and then she's good and we got it.
Yeah.
So,
That's one thing I really liked uh was that development that we got with her because like you said, I had no idea this character existed before Hawkeye. And to be honest, I was like, do we really even need her in Hawkeye? Like, she's okay, but do we need her? And so, we were getting this show and I just didn't care. And then the trailer made me go, okay, I
now
do care.
now I'm
You
curious.
know, yeah, and yeah, I did really enjoy this show. I had nitpicks with it, obviously, but um, I liked I liked that they had the Choctaw music, those songs played
Hmm.
throughout the series. One thing I thought, or not thought, but I hoped we were gonna get more of was the origin, like more than just the origin of the Choctaw. Like we got that several times, but I thought maybe we would get even more. I wanted more because I really found that interesting.
Well, and I
But I
think
know they
that
only had 5 episodes, so,
and
yeah.
honestly, I think the way that they did it was very well done to where it was just, we're just gonna kind of touch on it. We don't need to drown
Yeah.
you in the culture kind of thing. We just need to get you enough to where it'll make the story make sense. So, and
Mhm.
especially they were talking about, they go through each one of these flashbacks, and there's like three or four different uh, Choctaw women that
Mhm.
have a part in her creation. I can't remember. I don't. Was the gunfighter? Was that the last one? We about to
I
get the
believe
last
so,
one.
the black and white. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
the
pretty
yeah.
sure, yeah.
Okay, so if that's the lot, so there's going to be there's three of them, and we're kind of getting an introduction to, you've got the one that's like the leader and the creator, if you will, and then you've got this one that's the strong warrior, and then you've got the other one that's coming
Mhm.
up that'll, she'll have her own little skill too, and we'll touch on that. But I like the way that they're kind of flashing back to it and kind of showing, okay, here's the, and in fact, he even touched on it. Gosh, what was his name? Oh lordy, Scully. Scully touched on it a little bit too, to where
Mhm.
in this episode, in episode two, where he says, your grandma could trace your origins all the way back to the original Choctaws. So it was
Yeah.
it's interesting to see, and too, when she uses some power that one or the other of these ancestors has, it'll like you'll it flashes in front of her, and she's like, okay, well, she's about to,
He's about to
that
have that, yeah.
she's about to
She'll
have
do
that
that.
power now.
Yeah.
So
Well, and
which is,
I liked how they, would flip between her perspective and all the sound goes out, so you can't hear anything, and it's like you're through her. I thought that was really cool that they did that.
I thought it
Um,
was cool. It drove me nuts though. I said this
yeah.
last week, and I'll say it again this week. Okay, so I watched all 5 episodes. I have already watched all five
Mhm.
episodes. Usually, I'll watch the episode once or twice, or well, in this case, I'll watch the episode maybe once, maybe twice more, just to kind of get a feel for it. And 9 times out of 10, I'll watch the episode at work, and that basically means putting my
Mhm.
headphones in, turning it on, and sticking it in my pocket so I can continue working, and I'll just listen to it. Can't do that with this one
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because they're
No, you
signing,
can't.
they're signing, and it's like,
Yeah,
man, I
yeah,
miss everything. It's horrible.
yeah. And you see, I watch with subtitles on, but I noticed when they did the ASL, they didn't have, like, captions appear, like, you had to have those on to know what they were saying. Um,
Well, and
so, you know.
I didn't have captions on, but I was getting them.
Oh, you were? Oh,
I
okay,
was getting the subtitles.
maybe I wasn't seeing them with the subtitles on. Okay,
But
yeah, I was
I'll
wondering about that.
also too. Now, one of our writers at Geek News Now, John Ambrose, wrote an article about this. It's on geeknewsnow.net, and one of the things that he had mentioned was that sometimes people would, sometimes they're signing, and sometimes they're signing and talking at the same time,
Mhm.
and that was one of the things he's like, why if you're signing, why are you talking, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And that's like real life.
yeah,
I spent some time in high school studying ASL, and I used to go to a deaf center. I've been to a deaf center, many times, and taken classes there. And when people who can hear um do the signs and everything, a lot of times they'll talk because that's just natural for them. They're wanting to talk, and
yeah,
they're creating the signs, but they're saying, and Fisk does it. He says we are family, and
yeah.
it's like
A
he
lot
does
of
it.
people, yeah,
Yeah, so it's like, yeah,
yeah.
that's how a lot of people do it. Exactly.
Mhm.
And that,
Yeah.
like I said, that's just natural. So
Mhm.
um, I thought the
What
ASL, all the ASL in this has been done very well, and
Yeah.
uh,
Well, and I know the actors took real life they took lessons to get ready for the series. Um, so I thought that was cool. One thing I dawned on me, and it might just be for the show, but I'm guessing, I've never learned sign language fully, but I'm guessing it's something you don't forget how to do because in the series, her mom dies, and once Maya leaves, to our knowledge, there's no more deaf people in
Right.
this town. And when she returns after 20 years, everyone is
Every
fluent
everyone
in
still
it.
knows how to
Yeah.
do sign language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's just, they only have 5 episodes, so they're like, we just gotta keep the story
Well,
going,
and
so
and
everyone just
I
still
mean,
knows it. You know?
honestly, if you think about it too, though, in a situation like she was in, so just we're never told how old she was when she left. I'm
Yeah.
guessing about 8 or 9, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was
Um,
thinking.
and so for 8 year, well, 8 years. Oh, we'll say 7 years, 6 years, 6 or 7 years. Everybody was signing around her so that they could communicate with her. I mean, there were even parts where uh, nobody was around, or where she was not around, but they were still signing when they were talking to her, just so they could keep in the habit of signing, and
Yeah.
they could still talk. And that may be something that just carried over after 20 years. I mean, they've been doing it for that long already, and it's just like, well, let's just
Yeah,
keep
that's what
doing
I
it.
would
She may
figure,
come back
yeah.
anyway, so let's just keep doing it. We'll
Yeah.
keep working. And honestly, it worked to the advantage because, again, the scene in this episode where Biscuit comes in to Scully's shop, and Scully's doing the whole thing about he's trying to sell the tourists the Native
Oh,
American,
yeah.
which, God help me, I love Scully in this episode, but he's trying to sell him the artifacts, and Biscuit's like, yeah, but if you want all that Southwestern crap, that's it's tourist stuff, but this is original. And look in the back, Scully's signing, and he's telling him, go away,
Yeah.
go away, go away. And and then of course they look back at him, and he's got the whole
Yeah, I was,
oh
look at that painting, yeah.
oh the staring off into oblivion as though he knows something special kind of thing. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, that's true.
was
It might have
was
just became
actually Graham Greene played Scully, and
oh, okay, yeah.
he's great. He's awesome. He's
Mhm.
been in a lot of stuff that I've
Oh,
Dances with
yeah.
Wolves. That's the big one that he was in. So
Wasn't he in the Green Mile? Am I
yes, he was
remembering
in the
right?
Green Mile.
Yeah.
Yep.
Think that was one of my first movies I saw with him.
Okay.
But,
Oh, he was
yeah.
in The Last of Us too. Now I got to watch The Last of
Yes,
Us.
he was good in that. He was in one episode later in the season.
I have not.
Think
That's on my list. It's on my list of
yeah.
things.
I haven't played the games, and I enjoyed season 1, so I thought it
See,
was
I
really
haven't
good.
played the games either, and I've been looking for a copy. I'd really like to play them, and I don't know if I'd rather play them before I watch the show or after. But
Yeah.
no, I haven't watched it yet. This is Debbie. She is watching us, so no, I
Oh,
haven't
okay, I
watched it
wonder
yet. I just finished Reacher, so maybe I'll do that one
well,
next.
Last of Us is really good, so
No, I haven't watched
pretty
it.
good.
It's Pedro Pascal, and I know. But anyway, so yes, we had Scully in this one, and he was great and hilarious. Um,
And I like Biscuits too. He was a fun character,
he's the
silly
he's
like ditzy, but
but
fun.
he's not over the top. You
No,
had
yeah,
in the first Thor movie, uh, Darcy. You had Darcy, and she was
yes,
funny, but not like over the top. And then they
yeah,
just kind of in the second Thor movie, it was like she was everywhere, and you're like, all right, too much,
hmm
too much. You're too far over the top at this point. So, um,
takes you out of it.
yeah, yeah. So this was just enough to. I mean, he was like, gosh, what was the kid's name in the Spider-Man movies?
Ned,
Yeah, the guy in the chair.
yeah, Ned,
He's
yeah, guy in the
Ned
chair,
was
yeah.
funny and humorous, and it was
Oh yeah,
just enough to where it wasn't like, oh my gosh, you're just annoying. Stop. but
Mhm.
enough to make you go to give you a chuckle every once in a while and say, "Ha ha 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 ha." Yes, that's funny. So,
Mhm.
what are you doing in here? Looking
I'm
at
looking at
porn.
porn. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but again, we find out in this episode too, and this was brought up last week of the train car. Why is she looking for the train car? Why does she need a train car?
Yeah.
And of course, we find out exactly what's happening now. She is striking back at Fisk. She she recruits Biscuit, which again hilarious here, where he takes his grandma's truck
Mhm.
to go off roading, and that was a great scene too. It shows Grandma delivering the mail in the beat up old car, and oh well, Biscuit's got my truck, and then it just shows him driving by, and he's like looking, and she's looking back at him, and the truck's
Or
just falling apart.
when Maya's asking him for a ride and he says, "I got dinner with grandma at 6 or 7," and she says, "You can have dinner with grandma any night."
Yeah,
You know, "Not me tonight." Yeah, he's
and
kinda saying. Yeah.
Grandma was in fact calling him at some point. I can't talk
Yeah.
now. We're on a
He's like,
mission.
"Sorry,
We've got a
grandma."
mission.
Yeah.
But she goes on this mission. Um, she doesn't steal anything. You're like, okay, what is she looking for? It just shows her opening the crate, and you're like, oh my, okay, what is she looking for? She jumps out. She gets out
Mhm.
of it. She does the superhero jump. They always do the
Mhm.
superhero jump where it's like, and it's slow motion and a big high arc, and lands on the truck, and everything's fine. And he says, "Oh, you almost died," and blah 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 blah. And what did you? I hope whatever you stole was worth it. She goes, I didn't steal anything. And then we find out that she actually put a bomb in the car. Now I want to know because I watched this. Like I said, I watched this again. I watched it again this morning. And why is it that it seems like every time you've got, maybe it's not every time. I know in Iron Man 3 it was really prevalent, and in this one it was really prevalent. You've got some kind of wormy, bald-headed guy with glasses that thinks he's all kinds of tough, and he's like running the one in this one just happened to be running the armory, but he's like one
Mhm.
of the lieutenants of the big bad guy kind of thing. I'm just like, come on, that cliche is so overdone. Let's find something else. Can we find something else? Make it a big fat white guy with lots of hair and a big beard. Make him look like a biker. I don't
Big
know.
guy named Chuck or something. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there are other people, yeah.
But it's always this wormy little white guy with no hair, and I'm like, come on. So
What
and
was the guy
most
you're like,
most of the times he has an accent too,
yeah,
like
and
some kind of
you're like, "Why am I afraid of you?" "All right, you're the boss." Like,
oh yes, because the boss said I needed to be afraid of you. But yes, she blows up the armory. It's where the weapons were going. Her it's not her brother. Is it's he's a cousin, right? The other guy. What's his name?
uh, Uncle Henry?
Oh, Uncle Henry. Yeah,
Or I think
Henry.
he's called Uncle Henry. Yeah, or
Yeah.
just Henry. Yeah.
So of course he works for Fisk. He knows they say, oh well, this. You get the idea that they're talking about this happening in New York. What blew? Well, it was this case. Okay, this is if crap rolls downhill, I'm going to catch it. Blah blah blah. Maya, we need to talk. And oh, Maya gets a new leg, which she's
Mhm.
again. I'm going to say this. I said this last week. She came into town wanting to keep a low profile. Don't let a whole lot of people know I'm here. But she's telling everybody that she's there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be keeping a low profile. But now Biscuit knows you're here. Henry knows you're here. Grandpa Scully knows you're here. All you've got is Grandma and Bonnie left. You've only got 2 of the 5 people in your family that are left that don't know you're here. And even Bonnie figures that out because Scully,
Biscuit slips up.
Yeah, he tried to sell his PlayStation.
Yeah, because he's on the radio. Yeah.
Hey, like, Biscuit, if you're watching, I'll buy that PlayStation 4 for $100. That's a good deal.
Very good deal, yeah.
So, anyway, blows up the thing. By the way, who names a boy Vicky? Vicky. Who is Vicky?
I don't remember. I guess let me look it up if I can see.
See, Debbie, this is why we need you here.
Vicky.
I know.
Let me see.
I know. What's his name? Johnny Cash had a song about a boy named
He was the guy who found the bounty out for Maya. He worked at the skate rink.
Yeah,
right here, the guy who can skate. Yeah, and he was like,
yeah.
Not so highly of himself kind of guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a jerk. I don't like him anyways.
Yeah. Nope. I didn't like him from the beginning. I was like, I don't like this guy. Something's off.
Why? I'm curious though. I'm curious about Henry's role because obviously he works for Fisk, and obviously he's like a manager of this shipping company, but he also runs a skating rink.
Mm-hmm.
That's an awful lot of
no free time, I guess.
I guess. Gosh.
But yeah, there's something about that in episode 3 or 4, but I'll leave that for that review.
For episode 3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, that seems off, but okay, that's a detail. But okay.
Oh, the little wormy guy's name was Zane. Yeah, he's also got a crummy name too, Zane.
Yeah,
it's Lieutenant Zane. Let's go get him. I can't say much. Look what's on my name tag right there. But
oh yeah, Zane. Yeah.
I just thought about that. But I am not a skinny wormy guy. I'm a fat wormy guy with a lot of hair
and a beard.
Yeah, and a beard.
Secret name Chuck. Works for Fisk.
I like the way they sign his name too, by the way. Where it's the F-I. It's almost, they spell it out, but it's just the way that they swoop it down and roll it into the thing. F-I-S-K. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I have enjoyed that. And again, like I said, I did a lot of sign language my senior year of high school, and as I watch this show and I see them sign certain things, I'm like, oh, I knew what that was. Oh, I could have understood what that was without, not a lot, but I catch things. So
yeah, it's definitely a cool. I hope to learn it at some point enough to know, like, oh hey,
yeah,
I know that.
Did you? What did you think of the lacrosse game in this one?
Oh yeah, it was cool. I thought it was all right. At first, I was like, "What's going on here? Like, why are we seeing this?" And then you find out that whoever loses is kicked out of the land, and I'm like, okay, there's really something at stake here. And Team Red was up like 8-2 or something, and it was the first to 10. I'm like, oh, they're just crushing him. And then Blue gets that guy. He comes in, the big guy, and he's like, comes in and he starts taking over. You're like, oh wow, Red's gonna win.
I think, and honestly, I think they could have done a little better with that, because the way that they did that, it was she was the only girl out there on the team.
Mm-hmm.
and I think that may have been a little preachy about the whole the woman power movement and look, she's the only girl, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think they would have probably done better to have like one or two girls on each of the teams.
Yeah.
Just just to have one or two there. And
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this is with her being there that makes her special because that's. But you can isolate her too by showing her scoring the points like she was doing. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was all right. I don't remember where it was placed in the episode,
it
but
was
it was all right.
my was probably right at the first. I
Yeah, I
think it
think it
was right at
was.
the
I think
first.
yeah. I think episode 4 or 5 was the only those are the only two that didn't open with a Choctaw scene, I think. I don't remember. But
We'll
yeah.
figure it out. We're moving forward.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll get there. Um, Shorter episode this time. First episode was
Yeah, it was like
it was 41 minutes with credits, and
yeah.
those credits are insane. They're crazy.
Yes. It's like James Bond, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh,
Or those the opening
I
theme.
love the
Yeah,
opening.
that
Oh,
opening. Yeah,
the opening is
that was
so
really
good.
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
I like the way that they contrast her and Fisk, and it's all up in the. Oh,
Mhm.
yes, so
'Cause
very good.
usually I'll skip those. Usually I'll watch, like, for episode 1 and then I'll skip. And I was about to
Mm.
skip and I was like, "Oh, it's opening with a gun." I was like, "I wanna watch this." And I went, "Oh, that
I
is not like Secret Invasion. This is cool."
I
This
I
isn't
I rarely skip the just if it's my first time viewing, I won't skip it just because
Yeah, yeah,
I
if it's
might
my
see
first time
something there that I didn't last time and I don't want to miss it. But if it's like, okay, well, it's the second, third, fourth time. Oh yeah, skip credits. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
unless the song's really good. But
Yeah.
like I was watching Big Bang the other day. I'm like, yeah, skip credits, skip credits. So anyway, what else happened in this episode? Henry got mad at her
Mhm.
because Henry doesn't want the war.
Yeah, Maya's like, "I control the war," or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I
"I
control
control
it.
what happens,"
I know when it
something like that.
start. I'm the one that tells it when it starts and when it stops.
Yeah.
And
Was it the end of this episode that we got the Fisk tease with the hospital, or was that
no, that
next
was last
episode?
episode. Yeah,
Or last ep oh, that's right. Okay,
it was
that's right. Yeah,
in the hospital.
yeah. Apparently, I looked it up, and that is a comic run where he has the eye, like, he's shot in the
Yeah,
face, and he
she shoots him.
survives,
That
so yeah.
basically the story, and Debbie would know better than I would. I like Secret Invasion until the end. I'm not sure I could be into Alien even if I thought she was my wife after I just creeped me
Yeah,
out a
that was
little
a
bit.
little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little weird. I
That's like that scene from Galaxy Quest when the Tony Shalhoub starts making out with have you seen Galaxy Quest?
I am not.
Oh my gosh, go see Galaxy Quest. Go see Galaxy
I
Quest and thank
It's
me
on my
later.
list, but I haven't.
Tim Allen, Tony Shalhoub, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, for God's sake, Sam
Yeah.
Rockwell, a
I've
stellar
heard the
cast.
cast is great.
But there's one scene where Tony Shalhoub's character starts making out with one of the aliens. Well, all the aliens look like humans, but they're not really humans. They're just taking on like a human form.
Mhm.
And, and all of a sudden, these tentacles start coming up behind him, and Sam Rockwell's looking at it. Oh no, that's just not right. Oh man, that's good.
Yeah, when we saw that his wife was an alien, I was like, "Oh, does he know? Because if he doesn't know, I understand. If he knows, like that, yeah, that's a little weird." Yeah,
I think he knew. I like to
yeah,
think he knew.
yeah.
But
Don't know how
anyway,
much I'll be rewatching that, but yeah. Yeah.
um, anything else in this episode? We had Henry griping at her, blew up the factory. She got a new leg. She got uh, Scully to make her a new leg.
Which she
Debbie,
thought
if
was okay at first until the upgrade, till he like
yeah,
changed it or something. Yeah, she was like, "Huh,
that's
yeah,
temporary,
that's
so
okay."
don't go running off with it. I couldn't run
Yeah,
even if I
yeah,
wanted to. So
yeah.
great episode. Action. The reason she had to have a new leg that was kind of cool too. She got her leg caught in the train
Mm-hmm.
latches. What? It's like guzzling sour green milk in the dark, and someone flips on the light just as you're about to finish, and the taste hits your brain. Okay. The
Yeah.
dingus den. Hey.
Hey, hey, Spencer.
Oh, yep. Spencer. Oh, everybody's on tonight. Anyway, good episode. Great episode. It only gets better. John Ambrose, like I said, he wrote a terrific article on it. He does not agree with me. He does not like the way the character. I can't remember exactly if it was the way the character was portrayed, or maybe he didn't like the way that the story went versus the way that the comic. But he hasn't been a big fan. I personally, like I said, I've enjoyed the series so far. I enjoyed the series. Period.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I don't think I do
Yes.
think I was hoping it was going to be more like the Netflix shows with more, violence and dark stuff, and it
Well,
wasn't quite like that. But it had its moments where it was like that. But
it was
you know,
definitely a step up to. It was a step up from
yeah, it
Falcon
was.
and the Winter Soldier and from
Oh
all the
yeah,
other shows that we've seen so far.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
like her power in the show more than the comic. I know you're quite there yet in this review yet, though. Yeah,
yeah.
we'll get
That's
there.
true. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know they
Trying
dropped
to not say
all
too much
five of
about the
these
rest.
episodes
Yeah,
all at once, so we're just going through them one at a time. So
yeah. I'm trying to remember. I don't want to say something from a future episode tonight, so I'm trying to keep that.
yeah, I had a
Uh,
problem doing that
it's
with
yeah,
Daredevil.
yeah.
See, another reason why we need Debbie back on. She keeps me in line.
Well, hey, it's great that those shows are canon now for the
Yeah,
timeline. I
yeah.
thought that was really cool that they did that. They
I've
did it as
always
soon as Echo
considered.
dropped.
Yeah, I've
Yeah, it
always
was part of my
considered
head
that.
canon. Yeah.
Did you watch all of them, Dingus? The Dingus Den. Wait a minute. Spencer,
But, yeah.
is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You watch all 5 of them?
Mhm. Yeah, I know he did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I know it's terrible. Ow. Okay, fine.
Oh.
Ow, don't twist my arm. Yes. You can go back and watch the Inhumans as well.
Oh.
Ooh. Yeah,
Mm.
that one was hurtful.
Yeah.
That was like okay,
That
that's a good
yeah.
trivia question for you. Well, not trivia, but a good philosophical question. You've got 2 movies that you can watch for the rest of eternity. Do you watch the Inhumans or do you watch the Eternals?
I think I enjoyed Eternals a little bit more than Inhumans. That's a tough one though. Hmm. I think I'm gonna have to go Eternals on that one. Inhumans was just pretty bad. That was terrible.
Eternal? Oh, well, look at this. Spencer
Yeah.
liked Eternals.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's it's the lesser of the two bad ones. Like,
Lesser of 2 evils.
The lesser of two evils. Yeah, if I had to pick between those two, it'd be Eternals. Yeah,
Watched the first episode of
yeah.
Inhumans. I think I watched the entire thing, and it was just it
Didn't it air
was
on ABC or something like that when it
mm,
first? I saw it on Disney Plus.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. I think it was shot
Oh,
in IMAX, if I remember correctly.
well, look at
I
that.
think parts of it. Yeah,
Eternals was
yeah,
good
if
for me too.
yeah,
All right. Hey,
yeah.
I'm not
Now,
I'm not I'm not here to judge. If you like something, honestly, I did not care for the first Captain America movie. You can roast me all day. I don't care. I just didn't care for it. I'm
hmm.
in fact, I thought Captain America I thought Captain America, the first Captain America movie, I was not a fan of. The Captain America in the first Avengers movie, I was not a fan of. We get to Winter Soldier, I'm
Mhm.
like, where has this Captain America been for the first two movies? We
Yeah,
needed more of this. You get the Civil War, and it's even better. It's like, you get the Infinity War and Endgame, and you're like, oh,
where's he?
oh,
Yeah,
yeah, where's he? Where?
chef's kiss.
He ended on a high note. It was
Hmm.
That's one of those ones, where sometimes you'll catch a movie and the first one's like, oh, awesome, so good, and then the second one's like, it's not as good as the first one, but it's still pretty good, and then the third one you're like, oh, they're trying
Oof.
really hard, and then you get to the fourth one, you're like, oh my god, what did they do? They did that with,
Hmm.
but I would say they did that with Thor, but they that one was a roller coaster. That was like,
Yeah, I was
oh,
gonna say
first
that.
one was so good. Oh my god,
Yeah.
the second one's
Oh crap.
awful. Third
Yeah.
one was awesome, and then the fourth one, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, geez, they did it again.
What am I watching? Yeah. Yeah.
The montage. Yep, that whole movie, the whole first half of that movie's a montage. The first 3/4 of that movie's a montage.
The problem it had with montages is like Rebel Moon with slow motion. You're like, all right, getting going, and then ooh, you know,
Yes, that one was a tough pill to swallow. But I have my theory on that one. That one is, I believe that one was the Marvel crew said, "Oh, Taika Waititi wants to direct a Thor movie. We're going to
total freedom.
let him direct a Thor movie, but we're gonna, you've got to keep Thor in this line. He's got to do this, to line up with the greater story. This stuff has to happen." And so Taika Waititi made a great movie, and it was an awesome movie. It was hilarious. Let's do Get Help. No, I can't stand that. And then it was such a huge, resounding smash that they came to the fourth Thor movie, and they're like, "Yeah, just go, do whatever you want to do. You make a Thor movie the way you want to make a Thor movie." And it was like, "Oh, that's a bit much. You should have reined him in a little bit
Yeah.
on that one." So
Yeah. It's like as a kid, you surprise your parents by being good, and then they give you a little bit more freedom, and then you mess up, badly. They're like, we're taking that all away, you're
yeah.
grounded. And you're like,
Oh
guys messed up,
man,
Yeah.
they gave him an inch and he took a mile.
Yeah.
The problem I had with Gore was he wasn't in the movie enough. Give me
Yeah.
something to relate to
You
the
get
bad guy.
you
I
get
mean,
Christian Bale as a villain. Barely use him.
and he's on the screen for all of maybe 30 minutes of that
Yeah,
movie,
something like that. Yeah.
and it was like,
Yeah.
yep, there you go. Show more of, make him a menace. Show stuff that he's doing to make him menacing and make him a threat.
Mhm.
That's what it was lacking, was there was no threat there. All people wanted to see was Chris Hemsworth being naked.
I was about to say,
You
as I was
flick too
watching that,
hard.
I was like, this movie can't get any more silly or ridiculous, and then that happens,
And then that happens.
wow, I was proven wrong.
Which, of course, if that had happened to Natalie Portman, everyone would have been screaming, "Oh, sexist pigs!" Whatever.
Yeah. That's why you like the movie.
That's why.
No.
It's just got a naked girl in it. No wonder you liked it. We needed more gore. Yes, we did. All right. I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Do we have any shameless plugs, Andrew? What have you got? You got any shameless plugs tonight?
Well, I will hopefully be back here Thursday for Cantina Happy Hour talking Rebels, right? First 3 episodes.
First 3 episodes.
Okay. There's first 3 episodes. And let's see. Can't think of anything else other than just Andrew Haley 05 on socials.
Yeah.
That's all I have for tonight. Yeah.
Debbie liked the flick. You flick too hard.
I'd imagine, yeah.
Okay, so Thursday night, I don't know. I think the Sith Dominion is here tomorrow night. I haven't heard from Dr. Dana, but if they're not here tomorrow night, you can always check out their previous episodes. Thursday night, we've got Cantina Happy Hour. We'll be back. We're talking Rebels, episodes 1, 2, and 3 of the series Rebels, which was basically the hour and a half long series premiere. Kind of like they did with the Clone Wars movie, except they didn't do a movie. I just know that all 3 of them were released. They released all 3 of them all at once, and then you could buy the DVD with it. But then Saturday is Geek Gauntlet, and they just kind of cover a little bit of everything. Marvel, DC, anime, whatever your taste is, they've got the flavor for it. So, wow, that sounded pretty good. I need to tell that to William. Whatever your taste is, I got the flavor. That's right. Geek Gauntlet. And then we'll be back next week for MCU Mondays, of course. We're doing episode 3 for Echo. For 8 minutes and 6 seconds.
True. That's true. Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works.
If it works, it works.
Yeah.
You know? But a skinny little Christian Bale is nothing compared to a large man in a big black suit with a red sword that runs around chopping old men's head off. Just saying. Just saying. You may be cool, but you'll never be as cool as I. Every time I walk into the room, I have my own theme music. Dun 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 dun. So
that's true. Yeah.
All of that being said, we are so glad you joined us tonight. Hit all of our social medias. We're everywhere on all the social medias. Look for Geek News Now. Don't look GNN. Look for Geek News Now. That's where everything is. YouTube, like, subscribe. Geek News Now official, like, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications so you know when we go live on shows like this. We will see all of you next week. Y'all have a great rest of your week.